Hey, what's poppin' YouTube? It's your boy Lock here, and today I have AG with me. What's going on, AG?
Hey, how
Today
you
we're gonna.
doing?
Oh, okay. But yeah, today we're gonna be trying out something pretty cool and interesting. We're gonna be doing like an anime discussion type review thing. Hopefully it works out well. But the way it works is that we're gonna go through the first 6 episodes of Boku no Hero Academia, and usually we do it 3 episodes every 3 weeks, and we have like rotations for each anime. We're trying out a new format. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. But let's start with episode 1, my boy. Which I'm gonna just say I thought was like a really cool beginner episode because like All Might's letter to his teacher was really cool, and we got to figure out who his mentor was. What do you think about that?
I guess we didn't really figure out who he was, but we learned that there was a predecessor to All Might. That was pretty cool because we learned that quirks didn't come into play in this whole story at the like from the very beginning. So it's cool to know there was somebody even before. Nice little. I'm sure they'll touch onto that, but this episode is kind of just basically filling in what happened last season. It's kind of filler for the first half, but then we learn about the tournament from their teachers in class one, and it kind of just like picks up from there.
Yeah, it also highlights Uraraka, or whatever her name is. We
Yeah,
call her
we call her
Gravity
Gravity
Girl.
Chick.
Gravity Girl. Yeah, she basically shares her determination for being a hero, which is money, of course, but it's for a good cause. It's for her family, which I really dig. It
Yeah, I
humanizes
like
the
that too.
character a lot, and I really
I
dig it.
yeah. But other than that, there wasn't that much about
Episode 1.
episode one. I'm sure they did the training montage in the episode, or it was probably in the second
That was in
episode.
the second episode where they did a
Yeah,
little Rocky montage. So let's segue straight into the second episode.
true,
And
true, true.
basically, what I took away from the second episode was that All Might pushed for Deku to just be the best that he could be at that sports festival because that's his moment to shine, for him to represent
Yeah,
who he actually is. Because All Might's time ain't that, it's limited, b.
yeah. He felt like a father figure or just a parent in general.
Yeah,
He's not gonna be around forever, so you gotta show your stuff while you can. No, he's not gonna be there every time to help you. And I really like that whole little moment there. Nice. It's real nice.
yeah, it was really nice. It was a good interaction to watch in between them. Also, my boy Todoroki, he calls out Deku. He calls out the connection
Mm,
that he has with All Might. A lot of people, a lot of the characters in there, like they really noticed that Deku's powers are pretty similar to All Might's, but they never really pieced it together the way
yeah.
that Todoroki does. And he just straight up calls him out and says, "I know that
Class,
All
no
Might,
chill.
huh?"
You saw what I did there? No chill. Okay. Hey.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. But yeah, he basically calls him out. I was like, yo, I know there's a connection. He has his eye on you. I'm gonna figure that shit out, and I don't like it. Like that was the look that he was giving Deku.
Or then that boy Kakchan or Bakugo, whatever you want to call him. He wasn't feeling it. He's like, dog, why are you going after Deku? But I'm sure Bakugo. I'm just gonna call him Bakugo. He's gonna get his spotlight pretty soon.
Pretty much,
But
pretty
other
much.
than that, we learn about the festival events, and the first one's going to be kind of like I'm not going to say track and field, but it's basically a foot race with a whole bunch of obstacles in between.
Yeah,
And the first obstacle, as we see in the last part of the second episode, was the three, or I guess four mechs that, well, I guess it was the 0 point mech from the first season of the entrance exam,
yeah,
and and Todoroki faces off with it, and the episode kind of ends there with him freezing it. I'm not. Yeah, it ends there with him freezing it, right?
yeah, and him freezing everybody's legs.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, at the beginning of the race in the tunnel.
yeah, and
Yeah,
basically he runs
it was
past
just
and it
him like
cuts
showing
off
off.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
because that was his first interaction with them, and he straight
yeah,
up bodied them. But that segues into episode 3, where like the race really begins, and everybody that he froze, like he freezes everything, including the mechs and everybody's legs. But a lot of people from Class A was able to get past that, and he noticed that, and he took note of that for a later episode. Hopefully, you
yeah,
guys peeped that foreshadowing that was done there.
yeah. There. We see some people from the other classes in that episode too. While everybody's dealing with the mechs, we see a guy named Tetsu, who's basically a dude who can go full metal body. He's basically the same as the Rock dude in Class A. I forgot his name, so forgive me.
We call
And
him Harden.
we just see like a few people like observing Class A because they're not shook anymore. They fought real villains back in season one, so they're just kind of getting things done. I'm just kind of a little disappointed that Deku didn't really do much besides fight that one little one. He didn't even use his powers. I was hoping to see him maybe not master his powers, but at least like do something without hurting himself. But
True.
he still used his smarts, and we see a lot more of that as the episodes go by.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Also we get to peep the support girl. She's introduced. I'm not really sure what her name is, but we all know who the support class girl is, the one with the goggles
Yeah,
and the hover pack, jetpack, whatever you guys want to call it. But yeah, she's
yeah,
introduced. She gets her way through, and it just basically the whole main highlight was how Deku uses that same shield that he bodied the mechs with originally to get
yeah.
past
Using
everybody.
his
That
smarts.
like the way he did it was clean, but I
He
kind of wish
basically,
that he used his powers of like speed or whatever to get past.
yeah, yeah. Basically, what Deku really did, the third part of the track event was that there was this minefield, and if you step on a mine, it blows up. Not real explosions, but kinetic energy, and it forces you in a certain direction. So basically, he had the idea since he was kind of so far behind everybody, dig up a whole bunch of mines and use the piece of a mech that he took from the very first part of the event and just belly flap on it so he can get the momentum and fly into first place, which he did.
Smart on
And then
his
we
part.
get an awesome moment with him just basically laying the smackdown on Bakugo and Todoroki who were in first and second, and inching ahead by using once again his smarts to slam while he was landing, and just using the explosion to propel him even further
Further,
again.
yeah, he hits a little combat roll and then he just
Yeah,
books it. He just
books
runs.
it.
He
That
runs
boy,
for
oof,
his life, boy. He was gone. Once he hit that combat roll, he was gone.
moving.
And basically, he outran Icy Hot, which is
Yeah,
Todorico, and he outran Bakugo, which was fine. So I would have thought like, yo, hey, he should
yeah,
have won, but he basically ran out of. He couldn't keep sweating, or he alluded
yeah.
to that at the end when
Uh-huh.
Deku basically won.
Yeah. And like the explosion just pushed him so far ahead. Like even if they, which I think Todoroki did, he was just so far ahead they couldn't catch up,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
thus winning the first event. Kind of surprising
A little
for
bit.
like a shonen, kind of like anime and stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, I see you, Deku.
I see my boy, but yeah, let's segue into episode 4, which was the cavalry race, which I thought was a pretty cool concept. How since Deku was in first place and now he since being in first he had the most points out of everybody, and
Yeah,
now it became everybody's responsibility to form teams based on the amount of points that they
yeah,
had and how much they wanted to steal from other people. Deku had the most points, and because of that, he was outcasted. Like he became a
yeah.
threat because nobody wanted to team up because
Yeah, they want to get his points.
exactly. They had no incentive to team with him. And basically right there we learned that Deku began his search for teammates. Nobody was fucking with Deku basically. And the one person that I thought that Deku could get was Lita, but it turns out he turns him down just to prove the point that he has his own rivalry with him too. And I'm just like, dude, you were never really like a rival to Deku.
Lita ain't shit though. He ain't shit.
Lita is type nice though. I just he ain't shined this race. You would think a dude with like the combustion
Super
engines.
speed would do more, but like
Yeah.
yeah, I was
But
like,
he had his
eh,
moment in episode 4 where he turned down Deku and showed his own
yeah,
conviction, which was
yeah,
cool.
that was pretty
Which
cool.
was cool. But yeah, Deku
And
ended
joined
up
Todoroki's team of all people.
of all people, right?
I was like, damn, you gonna do a Deku like that? I see you.
Yeah,
Come
but my
on,
boy
man.
Deku, he relied back on his smarts and he grabbed the next person that he knew he could grab, which was basically Uraraka.
Urarara.
He said "Urarara," and the support girl, and he
Yeah.
also
Well, actually,
grabs.
support girl just came up to him,
Oh
and
yeah,
she
you
just
right,
followed
you
because
right,
he's
you
like
right.
number one. All eyes are gonna be on him, so she could show off her mechanics and
And the
gadgets.
best teammate
Oh,
right
your
here,
boy. Yeah, I'm gonna let you have it.
my boy. My boy Tokiyama, Shadow Dude, Batman Jr.,
He said
whatever you want to
Tokiyama.
call him. Deku grabbed him, and that was the smartest move because that dude is underrated, super underrated. And that team
Yeah,
setup was perfect because he was on defense. Uraraka was basically using her abilities to make everybody defy gravity, and the support girl was giving everybody like the hover pad, jetpack
yeah,
combo. So it was a clean team, and his strategy was basically to do keep away.
yeah. And once the event started, obviously everybody went right for Deku's team. It started with him using a jetpack he got from Homegirl Support Girl, and just like keeping to the air. But that didn't last for long because Bakugo and his team, which consisted of the Acid Girl, because he wanted somebody that could melt Icy Hot Dude's ice powers, Tape Dude, and the Rock Dude that's also in his class. Bakugo took to the sky and chased after Deku and his teammates, but we got Tokoyami again coming through with the clutch shadow maneuvers,
Mm-hmm.
coming out clean with the defense. I like that though. He's definitely top 5 in the class. He like you said, he's really underrated. I like that guy.
Yeah, and it just ends with him protecting Deku. And so that segues into episode 5, which was the second half of that cavalry battle. and it was
They kicked him up a
definitely
bit.
the highlight of episode 5 to me was the speed boost, but that's way later in episode 5.
Yeah. So what happens right after that? Bakugo pretty much lands, and then he gets confronted by someone from class two B. Is that what they're called? Two B
It's just class B in general,
or
yeah.
just class B, right?
Yeah.
And apparently they had a plan from the jump to basically let all the people from class 2A, because they're not afraid of combat anymore, just show off all of their quirks, and they could like make a plan to adjust accordingly, basically. So they used that as time to basically know what they're doing. And this guy's quirk was able to copy somebody else's quirk, so he kind of used Bakugo's, I don't know what it's called, explosions against himself, and got the upper hand to take his headband, which has all the points for this event.
That's
You
low
lose
key
the
a nice
headband,
ass
yeah.
quirk. I wish they had done more with that.
Yeah, I feel like I think the whole 5 minute thing with him, like there's a 5 minute timer for as long as he could hold the quirk. I think that's probably his downfall. Even
Yeah.
though that didn't show it to us. We went back to Bakugo getting his stuff back just by sheer determination, to hide it. Like
Shonen logic.
yeah, but like it made sense, I guess. Like this guy just come out of nowhere and just take Top Dog's headband. I don't think he's gonna take that laying down.
Of course he ain't gonna take that laying down,
But
especially with my boy
while,
explosions
while
for
that's
hands.
happening, he gets his stuff back. We go back to the main event, Todoroki and Deku. What you got to say about that, my guy?
My boy Todoroki and that yo, that was clean. I like how like my boy Icy Hot just decided, nah, it's just gonna be a one-on-one. Like he completely surrounded himself with the ice wall, and he definitely had beef with Deku. He had something that he had to prove to everybody out there, because they allude to the backstory of his father being Endeavor, and Endeavor is second to
Yeah,
All Might, and they're all like Deku is a sidekick to All Might, and Todoroki is a sidekick to the father. So it's like a destined fight. It's sort of like the Naruto or Sasuke of Boku no Hero. So that's basically what happens, and that fight is crazy. That fight is absolutely ridiculous, because like the final stretch is when Homeboy uses his what was it, the combustion.
I guess we should talk about who's on his team first.
Yo, I don't remember, bro. I don't
So
remember.
we got on Icy Hot's team, we got him
Oh,
on
it was
top,
the electric
obviously.
dude too, right?
We got Kabanari, I think his name was, the electric dude, and we got Isuzu. I want to say that's her name. I may be wrong. Who could create like basically weapons from
Anything, yeah. She can make anything out of herself.
anything. And in the
Not
front, we
anything.
got Lita, who basically showed his wow,
Conviction.
conviction. Can say that for a second, against Deku in the previous episode, leading the front, basically giving them maneuverability. And also, the girl that could create things, she made roller skates for everybody just so they can keep up with the dude in the front, Lita. So that's who they have on the team. And in this episode, we find out the dudes who's holding the front line for Deku, Crow dude, I forgot, I keep forgetting his name.
Uh,
Tokoyami?
yeah, Tokiyami.
It's Tokoyami, right? He has a weakness, which is against like light, because his demon thing is made out of shadow.
Yeah, it becomes
And
passive during the day and more powerful at night.
yeah. So Kabanari hits them with like electric bolt, Pikachu out here, and just like it doesn't wipe out Tokiyami's shadow, but it dazes him for a while.
Yeah.
Giving Lita time to do something kind of crazy and show off his new ability, which doesn't have a name, just like some kind of nitros boost in his legs. But after that, he can't really move. But in
He
the
was
split
done.
second that he did, Tokoyami got Deku's 1 million headband,
His points
which was
were only-
kind of crazy. And they were running out of time. There's about like 30 seconds left in the whole event.
back to where we left off. Basically, after Lita's legs are just straight up out of commission, Deku was just like, yo, this is my chance. I need to just rush. And he rushes my boy Icy Hot. And Icy Hot's not having that. So when they're about to collide, he throws out that fire hand, which is crazy because that's the first time that he's about to use his fire powers. And my boy Deku's using his one for all abilities, and he slaps the hand away. That is like the illest slap of a hand that I have ever seen. He straightened he
My boy
rejected
was
that
cutting
one.
through wind, boy.
He rejected that hand with speed, strength, and tenacity, boy.
How did all those flames? Yo, Todoroki's hand flicked, boy. I thought it was broken. I thought
Yeah,
it
I'm
was gonna-
surprised that his hands didn't
The
get
way it
bodied.
flicked, I was like, dang. He didn't even touch you.
But for plot convenience,
Yeah.
my boy grabbed the wrong headband, which was like, bruh,
That was some BS, man.
how the
That
hell?
was
Cause
some
like nobody
BS.
peeped the headband moving. But
He
let's not
said,
even get
"Oh,
into that.
I switched the headbands." I was like, "How?" When he was looking at you the whole time.
It was
But you know,
absolutely ridiculous.
I'm gonna let that one slide.
We'll let that one slide. We'll let that one slide. But after that, basically what happened was my boy Bakugo, he got a couple of headbands back by breaking through that dude who
The
had the
smug dude
quirk.
that we talked
Yeah.
about, yeah,
He
he
could
basically
make
got stuff back.
air solidified one of his teammates, and my boy Bakugo broke through that shit with just about as much strength as my boy Deku here, and he collected his points. And
And then he was
basically,
like, "All right, time to head back. Where Deku at? Where you at?
that's
I'm coming
basically
for
what he
that
does.
ass."
But your time basically runs out. Deku's looking a little sad. Points is starting to get distributed, and my boy Tokiyama comes in clutch. He says that like the shadow, while Deku was making his advance, stole a next headband when they weren't looking, and that
Which I
put
think was Todorori, Icy Hot dudes, and the
yeah
400 points or whatever.
yeah, and that put them in fourth place,
Not bad, not
which
bad.
wasn't a bad position.
Came in clutch with that one.
That was super clutch, boy, super
Could be
clutch.
plot convenience, but hey, came in clutch. Came in clutch.
And episode 5 just ends with them all talking about all of this shit, and then they Deku and my boy
And
Icy Hot,
Todoroki pulls Deku aside in the end of the episode,
yeah, he
leading into the current episode, episode 6, the
episode
latest one,
6, and I'll leave that one up to you.
which is basically just exposition. We get a lot of backstory. We're prepping for the next event, so it picks up where the last episode ended off with Todoroki pulling Deku aside and basically saying that he lost control in that last bit of the fight, or if you want to call it that, where he basically lit himself on fire. He goes into the backstory of his dad, which is that his dad is Endeavor, who didn't know that by this time, and his mother is another woman, unnamed, who has ice powers. The thing that happened, he was not a love child in any way. He was a child of something called quirk marriages, which is when someone, I guess, that has the desire to have a child with strong quirks finds another suitable being with a, I guess, a decently powerful quirk, and just has sex just to get a powerful son or daughter, well, basically powerful offspring, and that's what Todoroki is, because his dad Endeavor is number 2 compared after All Might, and he's basically jealous. He's salty as hell, and that's pretty much it. He wants his revenge on all. He wants revenge on him since he can't do it himself. He wants to live his life vicariously through his son, and that's pretty much the exposition that we get. And at the same time, All Might is talking to Endeavor about pretty much the same thing, and he's just like, "Oh, my son is gonna become better than you," and a whole bunch of dribble. Todoroki, he's not with it. He wants to do things on his own accord. The thing that kind of got me about his little backstory is that he's pretty much picking his mother's side on this whole situation. Though I think his mother is just as effed up. The scar that he has on his face is because his mother, I guess, tossed boiling water on
Yeah, I
him.
think she was abusive on him.
Yeah, tossed boiling water on him just because she doesn't like him from coming from his dad, basically, which is kind of fucked up. Like he's feeling bad about for his mom and whatnot, and she's like the way she is because of him. But I don't think, I feel like he's giving his mom a little bit too credit, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like it's dark, like it's the lesser of two evils type situations that he had to choose
yeah. I
from.
was like, she's no role model, man. But yeah, that's pretty much like the main plot of this current episode, episode 6. And we go into, basically there's like a little festival for all the people that lost to get like a chance to show off their quirks. Nothing really big happens there. After that, we find out the next event, which is, I guess, the final event. It's a tournament style, real old school. They throwing hands now,
One on
1v1
ones,
kind of
B.
situation. Exactly.
One on
Basically, what
one.
everybody's been waiting since the show started. A
Pretty
nice little
much.
tussle.
Pretty
And so
much.
we got like a whole bunch of people paired up. The first match is a character named Shinzo, which has been alluded to but not given much spotlight this whole season, really. Is the dude with the purple hair, if you guys don't know, against Deku. And this guy, he made it to the final round very sneakily. Not even the announcers knew what he did. He just like, oh, he's in what? third place. He got third place, right?
I think
Just
so.
above
Yeah, his
Deku.
team
Yeah.
got third.
And his teammates didn't know they were his teammates at all. So all the people on his team basically quit out from the final tournament just because they didn't know. Bringing in basically whoever was on the fifth or sixth team, which was Tetsu and some girl with green hair. Not sure who she was. So they come through,
Medusa.
and who's the martial arts dude with the tail?
I don't know his name, but he has like a
I don't know
weird
his name.
like.
But he got some spotlight in this episode, basically helping Deku out because Shinzo, he came to him talking to Deku. I'm guessing a part of his quirk is mind control. We have no clue yet,
All I know is it
but
triggers when you speak to him and reply back to
yeah,
him when he talks to you, and it just
a lot of
triggers
people
some
are
type of
telling me that
ability.
we're gonna enjoy his all the manga readers. I was like, okay. So that's pretty much what's going on there. He comes in and helps Deku's like, nah, don't talk to this nigga. He's some snake in the grass type nigga. Don't fuck with it. And Deku's like, all right, cool. So they go into the back and start talking. And he's basically tipping him off about this Shinzo dude. And the episode pretty much just ends with Shinzo and Midoriya heading to the stadium or field or wherever they're gonna fight. And Shinzo's talking a whole lot of crap about Deku's friend.
So he eggs
And
him on
then he slips
hard.
up and says some snarky stuff back to Shinzo. And then he's like, I won this match. And the episode ends. Son, you got any predictions?
Yo, I'm
What?
predicting now that my boy Deku is gonna break free from that some way,
Mm,
somehow, and the bullshit is gonna be like one for all, or like all for one, whatever the hell the shit is called. It's gonna be because of that ability. It's gonna bring him through it some way, somehow, maybe some resistance with the mind or whatever. Because it can't end here. He's the main character. It definitely can't
yeah.
end here.
And it's in the open that he fights Todoroki, so
It's like it's a
which
no
is also
brainer.
in
I
the
feel like
next
he's
match.
gonna. I feel like once he gets past like
Yeah,
whatever his quirk is, it's a wrap.
yeah. All in all, this last episode was pretty good, but it was a little bit more slower paced than the last episodes. But we still liked it. But I don't know this Shinzo dude.
He's
If it's
weird.
mind control, I don't know how. I could see how he could win it all,
Yeah,
but I feel like I feel like he's not. He's hyped up for no reason. I feel like he's gonna be somebody just like once you figure out
his
his
ability it's
quirk or
over. But I
something,
feel
it's
like he
gonna be
might
like
make
a
up for
loophole.
that. Like he might be on some like G like hand to hand combat,
Mm.
like I'm type nice type thing. You know what I
The
mean?
only reason I don't think that, if you think about it, he said he didn't make it into the hero course.
True.
He's not even in class B. He's from general study,
Oh my
and
god, my boy retarded.
that means he couldn't take out any. Wow, wow. That means he could remember the entrance exam, which is fighting the robots in
Yeah.
season one. That means he took out no robots. That's what makes me think like he don't got nothing besides mind control.
I don't think that would work. Like even if you mind control a person and make them kill it, they get the points because they killed it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was like. Okay, so even if what he's trying to do is get into the hero course, but he couldn't the first time. So I was like, I don't think he could fight,
Yeah,
even if you would think he could. I don't think so.
that makes
So
sense.
I think there's gonna be like some kind of loophole with his power, whatever it may be, and Midoriya's gonna wash him real quick. Then
Real
we're gonna
quick.
get to the main event of Todoroki. You know?
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to that Tokiyami fight.
Oh, he's fighting the chick that can make stuff, right?
That'll be interesting because like low key, those two like
They're
have
they're both underrated,
they're both super underrated. Like she could make anything that's like non-living. Like
and she
bruh.
was the only character besides Todoroki to get like invited into the school. People keep sleeping on that.
Yeah, without a doubt.
The other fights are, we got Lita versus Support Girl. Yeah. We got the belly button dude versus the acid girl. Once again, yeah. Bakugo versus Uraraka is an interesting one. I have a few friends that read the manga and they keep telling me, don't sleep on that fight. I don't know what's gonna happen, but apparently that shit is lit.
Literally explosions.
Wow, you're on a roll today, my guy.
Oh my
You're on
god.
a roll, my guy. But, but what do you think about that fight? You think Bakugo's gonna lose?
Yo, I think it'll
I,
be
I
a
like for the. I feel like for the sake of the plot, nah. But
nah. Yeah, I don't think
go
I
for
don't
it.
think I think it'll be like a super close fight,
Yeah,
and then
it's
like
gonna
he'll
be
pull the final
unexpected.
stretch. Yeah.
Yeah. And for the last fight, we got Todoroki versus the tape nigga.
Boy, do we
R.I.P.
even
that
have to
guy.
comment on that? It's over for that dude. He about
R.I.P.
to freeze that man's tape. My boy Scotch is out the race, boy.
Scotch.
Scotch.
So, out of all these episodes, they were all pretty good. The last episode was a little slow compared to others, but it was kind of like the in between transition into another event. But overall, this season of My Hero is looking pretty dang clean. And other than that, this is going to be kind of a standout episode because we reviewed 6 episodes. This is not normal, so it's a little bit lengthy. We're gonna wait 3 weeks until the next 3 episodes come on. Then we're gonna be doing that until the season pretty much ends. We're gonna be doing 3 episodes at a time. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm here with my boy Locke. I'm
Hey,
EG, and I'll catch y'all next time.
peace.